Finals was an all-time classic. Steph Curry put on a show for the ages. His back was against the wall. This team could not go down and lose. He went into one of the most hostile environments in the NBA, the Boston Garden, against the best defense in basketball. Many people have said this might be the best defense in the last 10 to 20 years. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Robert Williams. They have elite defenders left and right. And Steph Curry came out with this type of energy that I haven't seen from him before, guys. In the first crowd, this dude was yelling at the crowd. He was in psycho mode, guys. He had 12 points in the first quarter, 19 in the first half, and 24 points in the second half. I feel like Steph Curry hit every big shot that was needed. He let this game not get away from the team. Look, the Warriors never went down by, like 10, 15 points like in the last game. It stayed in that 5 to 6 range, and I think that was key because the crowd couldn't get too going. Every time the Celtics made a big shot, Steph came down, hit a big three, and honestly, there was a lot of foul calls that I thought the Warriors didn't get, guys. When you think about Steph Curry and his all-time great status, people often said, not me, but some people said he needed to prove something in the finals. And, I obviously think that Steph's been a great finals performer. He averages 27, 6 and 6s, which is basically LeBron James stats in the finals. That's what LeBron's career averages are, and that's what Steph does in the finals, which is insane. But people said he needed this big moment, and there's not a bigger moment than what he did last night, guys. 2-1. Down 2-1, backs against the wall. If you lose this game, you're not going to win the series. Obviously, it's not technically over, but you're not going to come down from 3-1 against this great defense, in my opinion. And he showed up. He showed why he's a top 10 player of all time, or why he's even mentioned with the Kobe's, the Magics, all these Larry Birds and Hakeem and Shaq, and that's why he's in this list. What he did last night, everybody knew Steph was getting the ball. Everybody knew Steph had to carry him. And what did he do? He still carried them, and that's something that you do not see from normal guys. There's stars and there's these elite players, and Steph Curry is one of one. He's the best shooter of all time, and the fact is he's averaging 34 points in this series, 50% from the field, 49% from three. I don't think people understand how ridiculous that is, that he's shooting 49% from three against the best team in basketball, and he's shooting 50% from the field in general. This is one of those all-time historic playoff series, in my opinion. I was left in awe. This is one of those games that 10 to 20 years from now, you're going to see on the Hardwood Classics, and it's going to be like the best shooter of all time. Steph Curry goes off against the Celtics, and obviously they do have to win this series. I'm not saying that, the series is over. I have a lot of respect for the Celtics. I think they can come back next game and win this game. They've already won in San Francisco once, so the Warriors cannot take the Boston Celtics lightly here, but they're in a good position. I think if they go up 3-2, that puts a lot of pressure on Boston, and this was maybe the first close game into the fourth quarter, late, and Boston has not been that great in these close games. I feel like they start panicking, and I feel like you saw a lot of that. They took a lot of bad shots in the fourth quarter, in my opinion. Obviously Steph was putting pressure on them, but let's not forget about the other guys for the Warriors. Andrew Wiggins, first off, was huge. He had 16 rebounds. We needed all of them. He had some putbacks in the fourth quarter. We needed those. He played pretty good defense. He had 17 points, which is 17 and 16. I'll take it from Wiggins, along with playing good defense. So Wiggins is showing up. In the biggest game, he showed up, in my opinion. This was the biggest game of his career, and he showed up. Klay Thompson, obviously, he had 18 points. He shot 7 of 17, 4 of 10 from 3. But I think to start that fourth quarter, he hit a few big shots. He hit that wide open 3 that, when Steph got doubled by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, you still got to hit the shot, and he hit it. He hit another 2-point, I think, fadeaway towards near the free throw line. We needed that. So Klay Thompson showed up big in the fourth quarter. He played amazing defense on Jaylen Brown, guys. I don't think people understand that the effort that Klay Thompson put in the fourth quarter against Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown had that big turnover in that corner where Klay Thompson was pressuring him, so that was great to see. Kevon Looney, once again, guys, he was unreal. He had 11 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds. He was a team high plus 21 in this game. He had 6 points, and I think he was so huge. And I think, Steve Kerr didn't start him, and Steve Kerr even mentioned that last game he didn't play Looney enough. And this game, Looney's been the difference maker. I think Looney's been much better than Draymond. And obviously, discussing Draymond, he got benched in the fourth quarter, and I think that was the right move by Steve Kerr. It's a hard move to make because of what Draymond has meant to this team over the last decade and like how important he is. But Draymond on the offensive end, I think he's sort of in his head, sort of like a Ben Simmons thing. He went 1 for 7, but I think he has to stay aggressive. I think next game Draymond can easily bounce back, have like one of those 12, 9, 8, 4 steals intensity games, which we need from Draymond to win this series. Draymond has to be better, and I think he will be. But yeah, I think he's a little bit in his head. He did make some big stops once he got back in the game after Steve Kerr benched him. He had like an offensive rebound. He dished it off to Looney, got the rebound. He had 4 steals in the game, which is still really good defense, guys. So I think on his defensive end, he was still pretty good. I don't think he's all-time great defense right now, but he's still a really good above-average defender in my opinion. The Celtics, look, Jason Tatum has not been shooting great from the field. I think he's around like 35% from the field, especially from two-point range. He's not doing good. I think he's forcing it at some point. Jaylen Brown was pretty good, but I think in the fourth quarter he made some mistakes. Marcus Smart hit, a 3 in the fourth quarter, but I think there was a few shots that he forced. So the Celtics, I think, when the pressure gets to them, they're not as great as the rest of the game, so they got to learn to work it around. I'm looking forward to Game 5. I think whoever wins that game obviously has so much momentum and can close it out, especially as a Warriors fan. If we win, you go into Boston, there's so much pressure that this might be the last game, and I think you can get to the Boston Celtics early on in that game because the crowd is tense, the team is tense, and they've shown that they don't play the best under pressure. I know they've won 2 big Game 7s, but this is a different stage. And Steph Curry, I think his key for this game was come in, put fear in the eyes of like the opponents and just try to get in their head. He's a veteran. He's been there. He said he sort of planned it, that he would, not that he planned it, sort of was both planned it and in the moment, but he knew he had to come out with intensity and he showed it. This was such a huge win for the Warriors, guys. This might be one of our best wins during this whole dynasty run just because of like how sweet the victory was, who we were up against, and like how bad we needed this win, and then the fact that we got it, and Steph was amazing, guys. I don't know, man. This was one of my favorite games. Let me know what you guys thought of Game 4. What do you guys see the series playing out moving forward? Who's going to win, man? I don't know, man. This is going to go to 7, I think, in my opinion. Hopefully the Warriors close it in 6, but all right, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and share the content and comment below. I love interacting with you guys. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Sports Moz out.